Yo, welcome to Spectator Sporting. I'm Zach Roach along with my partner, Mr. Adi Wiley. We got a big show for y'all today. We talking boxing and we talking boxing. You know, we had to bring my man Tion back. We had to bring my man Byron back. They always school us to this thing. We're here to do a review of the Devin Haney versus Regis Prograis. It was a domination fight. Devin Haney was ready to go. So let's get into reasons. So Tion, what's your thought on this fight?
It was so lackluster. It was just really bad. It was like when we saw Canelo and Charlo, we thought it couldn't get no worse. And I wouldn't say this is worse only because Regis wasn't like just fighting to survive. Yeah. He was fighting. But the levels, it's levels. And that we clearly saw that it was just levels. We talking about a title holder. We talking about going up a weight class. And to me, they shouldn't even have been in the ring with each other. They just shouldn't. Like, he couldn't even hit Devin Haney. It didn't look competitive. It wasn't fun to watch. It was fun to watch in the aspect of because Devin Haney is turning into something like right before everybody's eyes, I believe. For y'all who ain't really on him like that, then you just been missing out. But he's turning into something. And when they call him special and he's only 25 years old, like, I think this fight showed why he's getting regarded highly in boxing, period. And he should be, you know what I'm saying? But Prograis was outclassed. He was outclassed from the beginning, third round knockdown. When I saw that, I was just like, the Devin Haney's counter game was just so sharp and so on point. You fight the southpaw, he consistently kept his foot outside of, you know what I'm saying, the southpaw's foot, so he was able to control the straight right hand. The 1-2 combination was insane. It was insane. He was ducking under, spinning around, like the technique and the training, you can tell, showed up in the fight. And Devin Haney, as always, pretty much when we can see, in big fights, he fights big.
Yeah, you got to give him credit. He looked fantastic in the fight. I mean, but I do hear what you're saying, Tom. They did look like he did not belong in them. They didn't belong in the same ring. Byron, you agree with that assessment?
No,
What's your thoughts?
I totally don't agree with that assessment.
Okay.
I thought this was a hell of a fight.
Okay.
And the reason why I think it was a hell of a fight was while we did have a one-sided affair, we had a one-sided affair because of boxing omnipotence. Haney absolutely destroyed this man because he prepared to destroy him. He took away his best punch, and he made him look like a toddler in the ring. Mm-hmm. And this is what I spoke to. Now, a lot of people want to give Haney slack because, of course, the boogaroo, as I want to call him, after that performance, he definitely had a belt at 140. And Haney moved up to get that belt. So, and while Haney did target him, and he did kind of target the most lackluster, well, I'm not going to say the most lackluster because Rolly Romero has a belt at 140. Yeah. But he made him look like that. Regis Prograis is a very good fighter. He's very tough, but he's very tough with one-dimensional fighters. I think he can fight someone who's a brawler, kind of like him. But when he's in the face of elite boxing, that's what happens. When you see a fighter dominate a fight for 12 rounds, he didn't get this man one round. Like, he didn't win one round. He didn't win one round. No. Literally. I absolutely was in awe. I was in awe of the preparation. I was in awe. Even in the corner, the direction that he was getting of what to do in the rounds, I thought was excellent. Haney is a problem, man. He's a problem. And I thought the fight although it played exactly how I thought it was, I definitely thought it would be more competitive. They sold the fight great. And that's another thing I want to talk about, like the press conferences, the pressers, the animosity. Like, it was real beef here. Like, you wanted to see this fight, and then one person kind of said what he was going to do, and then he went in the ring and he did it. And so I didn't come away from it like the Canelo fight where we watched the guy run from 12 rounds and just try to survive. Yeah. Regis actually was trying to engage him. He was trying to get his left off. He never kind of sulked back. Right. He kept trying to come forward, but he just did not have an answer because he was faced with elite boxing.
Yeah. So maybe we doing Haney some disjustice
Yeah, I think so.
by not giving him the credit. Just because he dominated the point,
right, exactly.
don't mean the opponent sucked.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, definitely didn't suck.
Adi, talk to me about this fight.
He did suck. So, yes.
Everybody got beat.
He sucks. In Regis Prograis' previous fight, I watched him struggle mightily to close the distance against Zorrilla.
Yeah.
Okay? In that fight against Zorrilla, it was a very close fight. He struggled to close the distance. And Devin Haney has a longer reach than Zorrilla.
Right.
And he's way more skilled than Zorrilla.
Right,
okay?
right.
And so, no, I can't. You can see this in that Bill Haney went to that fight. And he saw that fight, and that motivated him even
Instantly
more
call him out.
to move up and avoid Shakur, who was his mandatory at 135, to go fight Regis Prograis. Okay? But, so he did beat who was in front of him and everything. I was still impressed by his power.
Yeah.
That's what I was impressed by.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and he
Legit.
threw, that sneaky, lethal, straight right hand in the third round, dropped Rougarou, okay.
Boogaroo.
Yeah. He dropped him with that. I was like, oh, okay. And then Devin Haney showed even more power in the 6th round with a left-right combo.
Yeah,
that
that was
left-right
nasty.
combo was going nice. Now, he almost dropped him in the 6th round.
Yeah.
With that left-right, he stumbled, almost.
His combination game was
Yeah.
just, it was as sharp as it could possibly be.
Very sharp. And in the 9th round, even more power. He gave him a jab and followed that with a triple right hook. And there you go. Regis stumbling again, almost fell again. And I believe that Haney could have finished him in the 9th round, but you can tell, like, Bill Haney was in his ear, like, hey, look, we don't need to try to knock him out.
Right. Just punish him.
Put ourselves at risk.
Let's punish him.
They just pretty much just want to paint his face.
And I understand that. Like,
It's
a lot of people are
great
mad about that.
It's
you
a
know
great
what I'm saying?
tactic.
And,
It's a
you
great
could
tactic.
offend. But when you're fighting a fighter that's hurt, you're putting yourself, you have to get aggressive. And he will have opportunities to clip you. He will have opportunities to counterpunch you. And I think Regis didn't have anything else, so he needed that type of exchange.
Right.
So
It would have gave him the opportunity to engage more.
Totally
Because now
understand.
there's possibility to make mistakes. I agree with you 100%. Like, punish him.
Punish him.
He
Why
punished
not?
him, and the quick step backs by Devin
Oh,
Haney.
yeah.
The
Lord.
ducks, the pivoting to get out of range made it very difficult
Spinning
to touch.
around.
And so I'm guessing that Bill Haney was thinking we needed a very easy fight after that extremely difficult fight against Lomachenko.
Okay.
Extremely difficult. So they said, look, let's take an easy fight here, and that's what happened because this was like a mismatch.
So it's pretty much expedition. He put on the boxing expedition, got his skills up, showed the combination, showed his power. David Haney did show up. So he goes to 31-0. 15 knockouts now. He won the fight to, like you say, 12-0. So now let's talk what's going next for Devin Haney. Devin Haney now, I've heard Byron, I've heard Tion, been very critical of Devin Haney's opponents, who he should fight. So now at 140, Byron, what should be his next fight? Who presents a good challenge for Devin Haney?
I wouldn't say he has a challenge at 140. I don't think he has a challenge at 140. There's two obvious names: Teofimo Lopez, who is the gatekeeper of the 140-pound division, and Josh Taylor. I think a fight with either of them will be something that we would like to watch, but I don't think he needs to dominate this division to move forward. I think after this fight, you now have a 140-pound belt. Now you can look to be lucrative, and now you can go after Mr. Twitter, Mr. Tweetums.
Yeah, here we go.
Yeah, I mean, let's just call him for what it is. You call out the little tank, and you tell the little tank to come up to 140 and see if he can get a belt. But as far as the welterweight division, I mean, I think Teofimo Lopez will probably be the best. That's what everyone will say. Teofimo Lopez. But Teofimo Lopez is in a position where he doesn't feel like he's been getting, and he hasn't. It's his feelings, but it's the truth. He hasn't been getting reciprocated the financial backing for his career and for the wins that he has. And I understand that. But I feel like it'll make the negotiations with him a bit diva-like. And so I don't think that Haney's management will like to sit in a 4-month, 5-month square dance
Back and forth,
Teofimo Lopez people to get a fight that they feel like they can win. I think they can win it easy. And I think everybody at 140 that saw that fight was just like, I don't really want to. You got the Ryan Garcias who just like to get beat up and get paid, and he wants to fight him. But I don't see any people in that division, and there's not a fighter in that division where it's like, man, you got to watch out for that guy. I think they game plan to come up to this division for a reason because they saw a lot of meat there. And now that they have a belt, they can call out who they want. But I honestly feel like the fight to be made, there are two fighters that are behind him that can move up. That's Shakur Stevenson or Little Tank, Captain Tweetums.
Well, Bill Haney was calling out Tank a lot after that fight. Yeah. He really wants Tank. Bill Haney wants Tank.
And I think he wants him because the thing is, he has proclaimed himself the face of boxing. And you have to, it's the same thing with Canelo. And I know all the Canelo stands who claim I don't like Mexico. I love Mexico, so stop that. But I have to give smoke to Little Tank as well because after proclaiming himself the face of the boxing, who has he fought? I mean, we possibly have a fight maybe in January, maybe in February with Pitbull Cruz. Nobody knows. But you have an undisputed champion calling you out and nothing. Birds, tweets.
Hey, see, he might step up to the challenge. You never know. That money, right? He gonna step up. You never. Tion, you agree with Byron? Is there nobody in the 140 division for him to fight? Or
so I got 2 points. I do agree with Byron. So I'm gonna stay present. Then I'm gonna go past. Present is there is no 140 fight. I don't think he should fight anybody at 140. I think he's going to find out unless he can somehow get Shakur. I don't think he's going to come up. He just came to 135. So that's out of the equation. If you can get Tank to come up, that's more likely to me. I'm not saying he will or he won't, but I don't see that happening in the immediate future. What I see is Devin Haney taking his first fight at 147. If y'all remember shows prior, we have had this conversation about those three fighters, Haney, Davis, and Shakur. I said Devin Haney's a natural welterweight. I said it then. 147 is where he wants to be regardless. I actually think the power will transfer to 147. That's my honest opinion about Devin Haney. Seeing what he just did to Regis Prograis, I feel like there's no way you can't tell me that he can't handle himself at 147. Yeah. So I think the fight, the two names, and I'm not saying they're on the same level as far as what they're building, but the bubble, the anticipation, the expectation of the skill level is Boots and Haney. I feel like Boots and Haney would be a fight. No, not next. Yeah, I'm saying Haney take a fight or two. It don't even have to be a title holder. Give me a contender at welterweight. Matter of fact, give me two contenders at welterweight. Yeah. Now I got my bearings under me. Let's go fight the dude. Because that's the dude. And I think those two names will be explosive. We already know what Devin Haney gonna do with sales. So he ain't got to worry about that. He's going to put butts in the seats because that's just what he's accustomed to doing as of late. I know for sure.
Sold out Chase Arena.
Man, stop playing. So then I would also say, come on, man. Tank and Shakur is there. And if y'all watch this show, you know how I feel about Shakur. When he moved to 135, I literally said it and I'm going to say it again. He was the best fighter before Haney moved up to 140. I felt like he was better than Tank and Devin Haney. Somehow, some way, between those three men, them fights need to happen. So Shakur ain't ready to move up to 140 yet. Tank, if he say he want to fight you at 140, move up. And I love Tank. And Tank, he ain't little Tank to me like dude over here.
He's a little Tank.
He's not little Tank to me.
He's a little Tank.
And I feel like Tank, when we left off, Tank's last few fights, we started to see offensive improvement. Similar. We started to see new wrinkles. We started to see Tank box more.
Who have you seen him box? I've seen him box in court. I've seen him box on house arrest.
You weren't there.
I haven't seen Tank. I just want to see him at this point.
So you fought a slugger like Pitbull in your face and he didn't box?
It's all about seeing him fight.
So Pitbull all in your face. Tank didn't change his whole approach.
I'm tired of talking about, but that's not the last fight he fought. So we talking about Ryan Garcia? We talking about Rolly Romero? Like, who are we talking about?
Rolly too. I mean,
this is Tank has made Tank likes to fight bums, and it needs to be said. The face of boxing doesn't want any smoke with a fighter that can push him, just like you alluded to.
Well,
Shakur is there. Shakur kind of hurt his thought. Getting on prime time and beating a guy with one hand. I totally believe that he was hurt. I know there's a lot of speculation behind that after seeing this man fight. I believe he was hurt. But it's still impressive to be hurt and literally go out there and take a belt with one hand.
Yeah.
While other will boo and this and that,
he did.
I thought it was impressive. The same way I thought it was impressive when Tank Davis fought Pitbull Cruz and he was injured. And you could tell he was injured. Yeah. And he won that fight with one hand. What I'm saying is, you have an opportunity. And the reason why he's Little Tank is, how many instances in boxing have we seen an undisputed champion call somebody out and it's going straight to voicemail?
Maybe because Tank the face of boxing.
So Little Tank, Captain Tweedums, pick one. But you want to go.
But you're not bringing up the conversation that happened before he went to 140. They was all calling him out. So what then?
I think at 25,
you can't switch the conversation just because he's ready to call him out now. They was calling him up before he walked off.
I think
before
at 25,
you ran away to a new division.
I think at 25,
Shakur Stevenson moved up to fight
Devin Haney. I mean, and we all know this as older men. The older you get, the more weight you put on. Mm-hmm. And they were having issues at 135. I think when he fought Lomachenko, he fought the guy at 135. Now, once he won that fight, we're moving forward. Now, this shouldn't be a conversation because we're acting like Tank didn't have a fight at 140.
Didn't Lomachenko lose to T.O. before he fought Devin Haney?
Tank has won at 140.
Yeah, he did.
Tank has won at 140.
So who was the guy?
But I'm just saying, Tank has won at 140.
Lomachenko lost to Teofimo Lopez before he fought Devin Haney, so who was really the guy?
What weight did they fight?
That was at 135.
Was that 135?
Yeah, Lopez was Lomachenko.
All of them.
So it was at 135.
Every last one of them was at 135.
He fought Lomachenko. Lomachenko still was the man at 135.
Okay, but he just got beat by his belt.
He lost to Teofimo Lopez.
Devin Haney fought a Hall of Famer. Let's just say that. He didn't fight the man.
That's true.
The man was Teofimo Lopez.
He's in his division now. He's in the title.
Okay. So is that our next fight?
What we're talking about
Teofimo Lopez is another fighter who left 135 because it got too heavy. He saw too many names that could beat to put another L on his record.
Who?
Teofimo. That's why he moved to 140.
Who was gonna put an L on his record?
Tank.
Tank couldn't have beat him.
Did Tank try to fight him?
I think Shakur could beat him. You already know how I feel about Shakur.
I'm asking, who has Tank tried to fight? Who is the face? Because if you're the face of boxing, whoever you point at,
you standing on that one.
I'm just saying. If you're the face of boxing, I'm gonna fight you next. We haven't heard him say, I'm gonna fight anybody.
Hold on, we're gonna come back. All right, go ahead. What's your thoughts on this fight?
Well, I'm gonna talk about who I think can challenge this man. Devin Haney at 140, and there's one of four guys that holds the Junior Welterweight belt, okay? And it's the IBF champ, okay? You got Subriel Matias, okay? He's an underrated guy. He's 20-1, and all 20 of his wins come by knockout, okay? Now, he's a high-pressure, high-volume boxer. He's all offense, okay? He eats a lot of punches. Matias is a brawler, but I feel like Devin Haney's boxing IQ was much more superior than Matias. Matias just want to stand there and take punches and give punches. Right. Not a lot of footwork, not a lot of head movement. I think Haney will take care of him rather easily. So the only guy that's currently at 140 that can challenge Devin Haney is the WBO champ, Teofimo Lopez, okay? Now, he had his last fight, he had an excellent performance against Josh Taylor in June, and he retired. And he unretired, and so now recently you got Eddie Hearn, the promoter, saying that Teofimo is frustrating his manager Bob Arum because he is overrating himself. He's expecting much more but from the payout, from the purse.
He want undisputed money.
Yeah, they offer him $2 million. He wants $10 million. So he's kind of pricing himself
He's trying to live off the Lomachenko win. He's trying to live off the Lomachenko win.
Right. But he needs a couple more fights to get that superstar status. He thinks he's a superstar. He's not quite there yet.
Right.
But inside the ring, Teofimo Lopez defeated Lomachenko much more convincingly than Devin Haney did.
He definitely did.
Okay,
True.
And when Teofimo Lopez is locked in and focused, he can beat anybody at 140, including Devin Haney.
Okay, so that sounds like the matchup.
So you will pick Teofimo.
I said that would be a very
If he's locked in.
Yeah, if he's locked in. If they do decide to fight, then we'll do a show on that fight.
I just want to know this. I just want to know this.
Yeah. I'll let you know if they decide to fight who I think will win.
Well, Byron got me interested. I really want to see the Haney and Tank fight because I'm one of those people that think Tank is the real deal. I think Tank is and I think his power is second to none. But my only question to y'all before we go on break is what weight would they fight that fight? Would it 140?
He's not going back. Remember I already.
I'm good with that.
He's not
Tank,
going
you
back
gotta
to
move up.
135.
Okay. Tank, you gotta move up. I honestly feel like Tank, like you at a point and let's just be honest. And that's why I loved when Shakur moved in the division. Now it's decisions all around the board. If you stay at 135, you're gonna have to fight Shakur.
You better get up.
You better go. If you think Haney's that sweet, prove it.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Adi, what's your thoughts on this vacated lightweight division belts?
Well, you know what? Edwin De Los Santos made CompuBox infamous history in his fight versus Shakur Stevenson. His 40 punches landed was the fewest punches landed in a 12-round boxing match in boxing history. Okay, and so Shakur Stevenson faced a lot of criticism for the lack of offense in that fight, but De Los Santos, he tried to get aggressive against Shakur Stevenson, but Shakur would just step back real quick. He'll move, he'll clinch, and every blue moon, he'll throw a counter punch. He'll rock him with a counter punch. Every blue moon, okay? But so, I will admit, I was very disappointed that Shakur Stevenson did not take more advantages of more counterpunch opportunities in that fight. I feel like he could have counterpunched him a lot more. So what I'm gonna say is I'm gonna agree with what Byron said on a show we uploaded about 2 months ago, the Haney and Shakur Beef show. And he said, now the very defensive-minded and counterpunching Shakur Stevenson versus the ultra-aggressive brawler Williams Zepeda, that fight has to happen. I would love to see that fight because that would be you just couldn't. That would be the biggest contrast in styles that you can see. Okay, this man Williams Zepeda easily throws over 100 punches a round, while Shakur Stevenson, he just standing there looking at you with that big ass Kool-Aid smile on his face, just waiting for you to come at him to throw punches, and that's why De Los Santos. He has a lot of power. He had 14 knockouts. He's also a counter puncher. So Shakur was just kind of looking at him, said his left hand was hurt or whatever, but he's still a counter puncher, very defensive minded. If he goes against Williams Zepeda, he's going to have to fight. That would be a fight, would not be boring, because the Williams Zepeda is going to dial it up. So I would like to see Zepeda versus Shakur Stevenson.
Absolutely. Remember, y'all go on Spectator Sporting YouTube page, subscribe to the page. You can see all the boxing shows on there. T.I., what's your thoughts on this lightweight division now that Haney's gone and all these belts been vacated?
I respect the Zepeda situation. It's two names. Shakur Stevenson, Gervonta Davis.
Little time.
It's it. That's it. It's two names to me. I've been saying this since Shakur moved up to the division. For all you people saying his last fight was lackluster, that's one fight in the division. I'm sorry, it just is. It's one fight in the division. I'm not saying that fight should or shouldn't define him going forward. In my opinion, it shouldn't. But I think we've seen enough from Shakur to know that there's an adjustment. It just is what it is. It's truth. Skill, like promise is still there. Like most people's thoughts on him are still there. But have more fights in the division. But I think maybe one more fight. And it's time to tank.
Little time.
If you don't want to fight Devin Haney, somebody's right in your backyard.
That boy's scared.
No, he's not. You gotta relax. But if you don't want to move to 140, I think you gotta make a bold statement.
Yeah.
Nobody else in the division. Pitbull Cruz is probably gonna give you the best fight, and you fought him already. So now the second time around, you probably go dog walk him. I don't want to see that. I think stake your claim and say, look who I just beat. If you can beat Shakur, look who I just beat. He was the dude that y'all said moved up and scared all of us.
Right.
And I dog walked him.
Yeah.
I think that's what you gotta do. Lately, my trend on the last couple videos has been these fights gotta happen. They just gotta happen. You know what I'm saying? So it's only two names to me. Good fighters at this division. 135 is great. 135 all the way up to 175, amazing. It's Tank and Shakur.
Yeah, Tank and Shakur, and not only that, that's the fight that's gonna do numbers. That's the fight people's gonna go see.
All
pay-per-view though. That's the fight. That definitely would be a prime time matchup.
I think that would be a boring fight because Tank Davis, he's a counterpuncher too, and he's very defensive minded as well. People underrate his defense because of his power.
Yeah.
But he waits a long time before he unleashes the power.
Yeah, he don't just necessarily engage.
Right. He's not out there like Deontay Wilder, you know what I'm saying?
Right, he don't want to fight nobody.
But in the ring, then Shakur Stevenson, it would be two guys just looking at each other smiling, I think, for a long time.
Yeah.
That Shakur, if that was to happen.
Because both of them, you saying, because both of them counterpunchers,
Yeah.
both of them are waiting to see approach attack?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got you. So, Byron, talk to me about this lightweight division. Is there anything we can? What should we look forward to now that Devin Haney's out of the division?
Do y'all want to live in imagination land?
It's kind of fun. It's kind of fun sometimes.
Yeah, we live in reality.
We do it.
You want to dwell in reality? I'm gonna always give you a reality-based prediction, reality-based what I perceive, and the reality is you have Little Tank in this division who is not proactive in defending his face of boxing status. I propose the only thing that I feel will work. A Super 6. A Super 6 tournament.
We've been talking about it.
Lomachenko, Zepeda, Little Tank, Cruz, Shakur, Kambosos. Super 6 tournament, I don't care how, and if you look at it, it kind of plays out the way everybody wants to play it off. You give Davis Cruz, you give Lomachenko his pick of Zepeda or Kambosos. I think he'll choose Kambosos, which they're kind of like in talks right now to fight anyway. And then you put Stevenson with Zepeda, just like you said, and you create a Super 6. If you go back to it, I think, when did they do this, the Super 6? Was it the middleweight division?
Andre Ward.
Yeah, it was Ward.
And
that was fantastic.
It was good to watch TV, and it actually produced an Andre Ward who actually went on to have a Hall of Fame career. So
it made the good fighters fight each other.
Exactly. Yeah. And I truly feel like this division needs something to make the fighters fight each other, because they don't want to fight each other. Zepeda is the boogeyman in this division. I know everybody's saying Shakur Stevenson, but I think Zepeda is the boogeyman of this division because he's been in it longer. And true. Nobody seems to want to fight this man. And this man is, not only has he been there, but just like Adi alluded to, his punch output, it creates a problem. When you have a fighter that produces that much volume, it kind of forces a defensive fighter to get on the offensive. Yeah. And that would produce a great fight. And I just don't feel like Little Tank Davis, with his beating of two social media stars, that he doesn't want to go out and attack and dominate this division like he needs to. Yes, he has bigger fights on his plate, which is why I believe you have to have a tournament style presented to him to keep him in the division, so that he wants to fight for the 135 pound championship or the unified championship. Because let's keep it real on Tank. I think Tank's ceiling is 140. He's little. He's too little for 147. Yeah. I don't think he goes to 147. I think he's. I think 140, and I think it's some fights at 140 that I think Tank Davis might not want to see a Josh Taylor. He doesn't want to see big 140-pound fighters. It's something that can totally be disagreed with. But what I'm saying is height matters. and your height is not going to get any.
Right.
You're a little tank right now.
His ceiling's definitely 140.
So the thing is, you give a tournament. I think the fans will benefit on the tournament. You'll see a lot of names that guys aren't fluent with. And because the 135 pound division actually has some great fighters in it.
Yeah.
But right now we're seeing the hypocrisy and the things that you hate about boxing are running rampant in this division. We're seeing a lot of talk, we're seeing a lot of tweets, but we're not seeing the fights. And Shakur Stevenson to go to the fight with De Los Santos, I do feel that Shakur was hurt. I don't feel like he could talk about himself being hurt because he was hurt coming into the fight. And I think what he did in that fight was impressive to people who appreciate boxing and appreciate distance and the way he commanded that fight. Like I think he dictated that fight. He only got hit 40 times.
Yeah.
And I think that's impressive.
Yeah.
And so I know, the boxing gurus of today, oh, he's trash and this and that. No, he's not trash. And I think a lot of people see him that's in the division and see the problem that he is, and they see that he possibly was compromised. So I think I'm giving you kudos if you can win a fight compromised, and I am. But the thing is, these guys are not fighting each other. So I propose a Super Six. I think that'll take care of all of the who wants to fight who. You give them a tournament, and the winner is the man.
I agree with that. I like that Super Six.
Off camera, we've been talking about this for multiple divisions.
Yeah.
We've been talking about almost, and remember, I don't know if you remember I said, we should almost do one from 135 to 147.
Yeah.
And just make it official, or 130 to 147.
Especially at 147.
And just do some type of, okay, you 147 guys, maybe y'all got to come to 140 or 139 or something. You guys just want, you know what I'm saying? Like some type of catch weight because there's so much talent. I agree with you 1,000%. And it's not just at 130, 135, it's 130 up.
Yeah.
Like the talent, well, I think 140 is lacking a little bit. That's just me.
Yeah, 130, but 140 weak.
Well, yeah,
140 is weak.
Yeah, the Lomachenko, a lot of people got him ranked as the #1 lightweight in the division.
Still.
Yeah. And he gave Haney hell. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
but Lomachenko recently said he wants a title fight very soon in 2024. He doesn't have a belt. Yeah. There's only two people with belts, Shakur and Tank.
Right.
Yeah.
So I would love to see Tank against Lomachenko. That would be
I think that'd be a great fight.
Yeah, that'd be a great fight.
I think that'd be a great
fight. Tank want that fight.
So maybe the problem
we should.
Maybe the problem we having at 135 is everybody thinks they're the man.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
Everybody thinks they're the man, and everybody wants to hire. Everybody feel like everything should be to them.
That's why I'm hoping that these promoters are looking at how the landscape was when this Super Six, idea debuted. And to see how fruitful it was. I mean,
it was like guys, 6 #1. It was like 3 champions and 3 #1 contenders.
You had guys. You had boxing fans were excited about it. You had guys that wanted to win and wanted to be the man. And I think at 135 right now, yes, across the whole landscape of boxing, you can do it.
Yeah.
And it'll be fruitful. But I think in this division right now, with the personalities and everybody want to be the face of boxing, everybody want to be the man, the perennial Hall of Famers. And I think with Lomachenko's clock ticking down, I think this is what you propose.
This is a perfect chance for him as well.
Right, you give these guys the fights, and with these 6 people,
I agree.
You got Lomachenko. He is already in negotiation with Kambosos, so that's one.
Already a Hall of Famer.
Davis is already saying that he wants to fight Pitbull Cruz. That's another fight. And I think Stevenson is hungry after his lackluster. He wants to go after Zepeda, and I think knocking off Zepeda will, to me, put him as the man in the division. So I think the Super Six idea is something that can be adopted, that can really level.
And then look at it, we just missed our beat in the welterweight division. 4 or 5 years ago when Pacquiao was still fighting, you talking about Terrence Crawford, Earl Spence, Manny Pacquiao,
Keith Thurman,
Danny Garcia. You know what I'm saying? Sean Porter. That's 6 champions in one division. We missed our beat then. Me and Zach off camera, we had those conversations then. I'm like, the Super Six should almost be a staple when across the landscape of the boxing, they should kind of look. They should have somebody like, all right. It's too many of them.
I mean, that's how Tyson became champion back in the 80s. It was a Super 6 tournament.
Yeah. I just realized that.
And Spinks dropped out of it. He didn't enter the tournament.
Yeah. Like, and then look what that Super 6 did for Andre Ward. It allowed him to blaze a path.
Yeah.
He was his own. As far as boxing, he is one of the top 5, in my personal opinion. Andre Ward is one of the top 5 boxers I've ever seen. I like everything about dude, not gonna lie. But
not a big Andre Ward fan. No.
Yeah.
Not a big Andre Ward fan.
But you see what he did after he beat Carl Froch to the minute. Froch didn't fight out of England too much.
Yeah.
That made him come to the US. Like, it was a whole.
No, he beat who was in front of him.
It was a whole.
I would have loved to see Andre Ward against Canelo.
Bro, then we just missed it with the welterweight. Like I said, we missed it at 147. You know what I'm saying? Now we got 135. I honestly think it was a little bit better when Haney was at 135. I was like, oh, they need to make this happen. Because I felt like Shakur was going to move up, period.
Yeah.
His body, his frame is not, you know what I'm saying? Like, his ceiling might be 147, but at least.
Yeah.
And we didn't even mention Frank Martin. He wants to fight Zepeda. He's calling out Zepeda.
That's wild.
And Zepeda's a golden boy guy with Oscar De La Hoya. And Oscar De La Hoya says Zepeda wants Shakur.
Yeah.
I really want that Shakur Zepeda fight.
Me too.
Yeah, I would love to see that fight. That'd be a good fight. So hopefully, a Super 6, but if it ain't a Super 6, these guys got to step up to the plate and fight. At the end of the day, they got to fight. There's plenty of money to be made.
Stay off Twitter.
Yes. You've been watching Spectator Sporting. I'm Zach Roach along with Mr. Adi Wiley. Shout out Burn. Shout out TNL Boxing guys. We out.
Get off tank.